You're strapped in to a live radio broadcast on Pure Rock Radio.
Get your piece of the internet with GoDaddy.com. Go to purerockradio.net/GoDaddy for coupon codes to save. Like 10% off all GoDaddy hosting plans. $5 off any GoDaddy purchase of $30 or more, or $7.49 domain names. That's purerockradio.net/GoDaddy for a complete list of coupon codes, or enter POD 167 to save 10% on all GoDaddy hosting packages today.
Welcome to the Used Bin. All music, all the time. What are you listening to? Used Bin Radio.
Good evening, everybody.
Welcome to Used Bin Radio.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It is Tuesday night, and as always, we are broadcasting to you live from the Westwood One Studios here in Los Angeles, California, where the weather is good and the chicks are hot. And there you have it.
Yes, indeed. We are live in Los Angeles, and that means for this show to work, we need your live phone calls. And boy, have we got a treat for you listeners now.
That's
Brad,
right.
Why don't you tell them about it?
Well, we have so much going on that let's take care of the business part first, like Joe Mama alluded to. We've got a new phone number for everybody. That's right, we are toll-free.
That's
so the
right.
new phone number is 888-405-7440. That's area code 888-405-7440. If you guys pick up the phone, we are going to pick up the tab. So it's toll-free. You have no excuse.
No excuse. So if you're listening live to us from Canada, England,
Kashmir. Because it's 4 o'clock in Kashmir. Isn't that right?
It's 4:30 if you're moving through Kashmir.
That's right.
If you are in Dublin and having a pint and listening to us right now, you can call toll-free 888-405-7440.
So get off your ass and pick up the phone. That's the deal.
Or if you're just too shy, you can always send us an email, usebinradio@usebin.com, and we will read it and enjoy it and share it and stuff like that.
That's right. Make sure you tell us who you are and where you're writing from or where you're calling from, so we can make fun of you.
Yeah,
we'd like that.
Yeah.
And also one other bit of business to take care of. Used Bin Radio has always had a Facebook page under the groups section, but now we are all on our own. We have branched out from the mother, and we are, so to speak, and we have our own Facebook page, which is at Used Bin Radio. So come and check us out. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you go there right now, there's not much there because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But we're going to figure it out, and within the next week or so, we'll have it looking pretty with lots of information. But come in and be our friend, because I think that's what you do on Facebook. Aren't you friends on Facebook?
I know you don't tweet.
No, although we're going to, at some point, we're going to link the Facebook page to the Twitter.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is when it comes to Facebook or anything like that, or not Twitter actually, but thank you. I lost myself for a minute. Joe Mama just hooked me up.
Yes, I did.
When it comes to Facebook, we are technologically retards and technological retards. So we're just trying to figure this thing out. But come to our Facebook page. I actually have the computer in the studio and I have the Facebook page up. So be our friend on Facebook.
Be our friend.
Yes, it will be. We'll have lots of fun info on there. We're going to post a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos that we've taken. We'll put it up there, and then we'll put it up on the website and all sorts of good stuff.
Join our coven.
Enough. Stop
with your coven.
Stop with your coven. Stop.
So, all right. So that's the business.
Yes.
We once again, toll free, no excuse. Give us a call. 888-405-7440. Let us know what you're listening to and join the conversation.
That's right. All right. Now here's what we got going on tonight. This is what's on the docket for the evening. Joe and I were at the Revolver Magazine Golden God Awards on Thursday.
No, wait. the Golden God
Because
Awards.
I am a golden god. So we're going to recap that for you. We've got a bunch of sound that we took from the black carpet. So we have some interviews with the likes of Vinnie Paul and Zach Wilde. And so we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about some of the... this was just a monster fucking week as far as concert tours go.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the biggest
concert
week
announcements.
maybe the biggest I can remember, to be honest with you. We're going to talk about the Rush Time Machine tour and Moving Pictures, and we're going to talk about Roger Waters and the fucking Wall. Did I say Roger Waters and the Wall? And Dream Theater's doing some one-off dates on this Maiden tour. There's just so much to talk about.
There's Sturgis. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yes, and then usually we would go to Rachel in this case, but Rachel's a bit under the weather, so we're going to improvise, and God knows what the fuck's going to happen.
We're Rachel-less.
Yeah, sadly, we're Rachel-less.
Rachel-less.
Can we have a moment?
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so Rachel will be back with us next week when she's feeling a little better. And having said all of that, Joe Mama,
Sir?
how's your week? What have you been listening to? And how's your sack?
Sack is awesome. I just want to tell you.
I don't think.
My sack is awesome.
I vote no on your sack being awesome because I know what you did this week. So I think that it is migrated.
Well, we will get to that in a moment. But one of the things that you don't know that I did this weekend...
Yes.
Let me just lose my sack right here.
It starts now.
On Saturday, a bunch of us went to the Renaissance Fair.
I do know you did that. We discussed this last week.
Now, I didn't put on any little like white elfin boots, and I didn't have like like my little tights on or anything like that. We just went to kind of check the scene out and eat a lot of fair food, which is always good.
Right.
Lots of greasy deep fried stuff. That's always good.
Yep.
And walking around, the people watching is pretty cool, I got to say, at the Renaissance Fair. Although I kept looking, and the members of Renaissance were nowhere to be found.
I was because they're on their 87th reunion tour in the UK.
87th anniversary tour. So there was no Renaissance to be found. But the Renaissance Fair is kind of a cool trip because it's sort of like a day in the Shire,
Right.
I'm like hanging with the hobbits for the afternoon. And
How was that for you?
it was cool because
Did you find the ring?
We watched
There's one ring to rule them all.
We watched some jousting, which is cool. We had somebody sort of let down his guard for a little while, which is kind of cool. He dropped character to kind of explain to us, what really goes on behind the scenes at the Renaissance Fair, which is cool because most people stay in character and they're talking in their Hobbit English or whatever.
Thy, thou, and thee.
Thee, thy, thou, and all that. But this one guy we were talking to who was like Mr. Weapons guy with with his array of broadswords and bows and arrows and all this good stuff.
Right.
We were like, dude, come on, tell us what's the real deal. So do you guys travel around like carnies, from Renaissance Fair to Renaissance Fair, or you guys just geeks? What's the deal? And he just kind of took us behind the scenes. He said, all right, I'll tell you about it. I'm really a computer nerd, but this is my hobby and this is what we do, and we like to come here, and it's a little bit of role play, it's a little bit of fun. So it was nice of him to kind of give us the insight. But he said, sure enough, something I had always suspected, after they close the gates to the public at the end of the night, a lot of these people, a lot of them actually, hang out, and late into the evening, a lot of the people that are...
I don't know if I want to hear this.
No, it's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
They have the big drunken Renaissance shtick going on afterwards, and I get the feeling it's like this orgiastic thing going on with people doing it in the woods. There's there's a whole situation going on in the Shire late at night at the Renaissance Fair.
They sit on their rocking chairs with their pints.
Yeah.
And they'd say, "Art thou though thee drinketh, thou beereth, drinketh, though lieth."
Let me do it.
Art thou.
Let me do it thou.
Bendeth thou over.
Bendeth thou over. Yeah, so they got a whole situation going on after they close the door to the general public.
Wherefore out thou vagina.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the deal. And they don't listen to any Renaissance 87th anniversary tour music, which is too bad.
Well, they're new.
Yeah, they're new.
If the Renaissance Fair was in the UK,
right,
they'd probably be able to do that because they'd be on their 112th reunion tour.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yep. So that's fun. How does the fair food compare to the regular fair?
It's not as bizarre as when you go like to the LA County Fair, because we talked about this before, but one of the interesting things at the LA County Fair, or any county fair, it seems like the last few years there's been this trend of trying to outdo the previous year of making the most disgusting deep-fried concoction ever. And for a while there, I remember like in previous years, we'd see like deep-fried Snickers on a stick or deep-fried Twinkies on a stick. And, you know, that was all like weird and crazy. But last year, they took it to a whole new level when they were doing a deep-fried stick of butter on a stick.
That's what you were telling me.
And it's like, at that point, you know, that's just instant heart attack. Well, so this wasn't like that. This was more like Shire food. So you see a lot of guys walking around with like a full turkey leg, you know,
and lettuce,
and
turnips.
But you know what really cracks me up is seeing some guy, you know, in his tights with his broadsword in his holster, and you know, in the full regalia, and eating a turkey leg and having like a big like goblet, you know, like a pewter goblet full of some kind of, you know, frothy brew, and doing his shtick, and then he pulls out his cell phone to call home.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. It's just crazy when that stuff happens.
That's like a commercial.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, but
I'm sorry you did that.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Okay,
the food is not as bad as the LA County Fair. In fact, there were some quite tasty concoctions, I must say. But watching a joust is kind of cool.
Sure.
Because these are guys actually in their armor, on their horses, and they're beating the hell out of each other.
Dude, you could go to medieval times.
Doesn't have the
spoons?
same.
They have forks at medieval times. They don't have forks at medieval times because there were no forks at medieval times. Remember that movie?
Absolutely.
What movie is that from?
That's from
Cable Guy.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I love that. Love that movie. Anyway.
What is your problem, you insensitive asshole?
I'd like to apologize then if I offended anybody who's a big Renaissance Fair fan or involved in the Renaissance Fair. I'd like to apologize.
Is it possible for you to shut the fuck up for 10 seconds?
Okay, I get the point.
All right, so onward. So
thou Joeth.
Thou Joeth. So then I should probably just dive into this right now, huh?
Sure.
You ready for it? Okay.
I just want to preface it by saying your nuts have they've migrated into your fucking chest.
My nuts are about to be lost. So
your nipples just got a little harder.
So Saturday I'm at the Renaissance Fair. Of course, we'll talk in a little while about our Thursday night. Last Thursday night we were at the Revolver Golden God Awards, hanging out with the icons of metal.
I am a golden god.
So in between metal on Thursday and Renaissance Fair on Saturday, what do you do on Friday? Well, everybody knows that Opeth was playing on Friday night in Los Angeles. So where was I, you ask? Let me just give you a little sample. Oh, yes.
Spooky.
Oh, yes, that's
so
right.
Scary.
I was not at Opeth.
Although this sounds like what the opening of the Opeth show could have sounded like.
It does. For now, that's all about to change. Because this was the opening number to a sold-out Staples Center Arena, 15,000 screaming fans. For Michael Buble.
Boo. Boo.
You cry the whole night through.
Dude, you just lost me, pal, and I can't imagine what you did to the rest of our audience.
This is so not metal.
No? All right, go ahead. Give us the review. Come on.
I gotta tell you, this was a major show. Now, let me preface it. This is not a metal thing, and, you know, besides loving my metal and loving my prog, I love a little cheesy pop now and then.
I like how you qualify it.
You gotta qualify. Dude, we're talking Buble here. All right. Yeah.
But anyone that's listened to this show before has a fairly good idea about your, you know...
About my cheesiness?
Buble fascination.
Let me tell you about this. So, we get to Staples Center. 15,000 people show up. He sold this thing months in advance. And first thing I noticed was I was really genuinely surprised at the ages of the audience, because I would have thought, I mean, listen to what we're dealing with here. Would have thought it would have been Blue Hairs. Thought it would have been the Tony Bennett crowd and the Sinatra crowd or something like that. All ages. You know, the Hollywood glitterati were out in full force. You got college girls and young couples. Families were showing up with their kids. All ages were at this thing.
This is usually the kind of show where they shoot an episode of like Girls Gone Wild, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. And I think my wife said it best. I think that Michael Buble, this was her take on it, Michael Buble has done for sort of standards and the Sinatra balladeering concept what Garth Brooks did for country music. He took this thing that was a pure art form and made it much more appealing for the masses.
Okay.
And so instead of, you would typically imagine a show like this would have been like in some smoky Vegas lounge room,
right?
Where cigar smoke and martinis being delivered to the tables, not an arena of 15,000 people. But sure enough, he comes out on stage, all the pageantry, the same screens and production you would imagine if it was, like any other arena show. But he comes out and he's doing a lot of standards. He's doing all of his hits. But the thing that really catches you off guard
Does he have any hits?
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of hits.
That are his?
Oh, yeah.
How many hits is there that are his?
The number one song for a couple of weeks in a row, just in the last month or so, was I Haven't Met You Yet.
Right. But isn't that the only one?
Oh, no, he's got several others you'd recognize if you heard.
That are his.
Plus, you would recognize literally every song in the set list.
Sure.
Because
that I understand.
It's I'd say 75% standards.
Right.
And 25% songs that you've heard on VH1 or whatever,
right,
from Buble.
Okay.
So you'd know every song. Whether you enjoy the show or not is a whole different story, but you'd know every song. Mm-hmm. But the guy is really funny, which really caught us off guard, because in between songs, he's got that sort of Dean Martin, cigarette martini, joking around kind of thing. And what I really liked about his brand of humor is he gets who he is in the grand scheme of things. He knows he's kind of the butt of jokes, whereas Tony Bennett would play it off like, I'm the king of the world because I've been doing this for 80
right. years.
Bublé's a young guy, and so he gets it.
Right.
And so he'll converse with people down in the front couple of rows. Hang on, the big finale here. I'm going to go back to your tunes now.
My tunes, our tunes. Jesus Christ!
Well, your iPod, our tunes.
Yeah, but we need to give you some sack.
Yeah,
I want to crank it.
So he'll be conversing with people down in the front couple of rows, and like he'll see a young couple down there, and he'll like ask the guy. So did she bring you along, or did you bring her? And the guy kind of points at himself. You see him up on the big screen. The guy kind of points at himself, like, I took her. And he'll look at the guy and go, like, you're so gay. And
that's good.
Like at another point during the show, and that was sort of the running theme of the show. Another point, he goes, sorry, girls, I just got engaged. I know you all thought I was gay. And so that was sort of the running joke. But
self-deprecating humor.
Yeah, self-deprecating humor.
We like that.
But really funny, really likable. At one point,
I don't think the guy's got a choice but to be that way.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
Because if he took himself too seriously, the guy would be playing the Smoky Lounge.
That's right. But no, he comes off as very likable. And like at one point, which was really funny to me, he was talking about things that influenced him. And so obviously, you think he's going to go into this spiel about Sinatra or Harry Connick Jr. or something like that. And he starts talking about the reason he wanted to become a singer was when he saw the float scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And so then he goes.
Oh, that's funny.
He goes ahead and recreates the entire float scene. He's up on the float. They're doing Twisted Shout. It's a whole situation.
Right.
He's talking about he was influenced by Michael Jackson, and suddenly he grabs his crotch, and somebody throws him a hat, and he's doing the whole shtick.
It's a shtick.
Yeah, and because it's a big arena show, and he could do this. At some point, he got off the stage, walked up the center aisle of the arena, and there was like a separate little stage toward the back of the floor where he and his guitarist did the Buble Unplugged section of the show. And this was like almost like insulters kind of humor.
Right.
Because he goes, I'd like to take you back to one I wrote back in 72. I don't think he was even born in 72. Yeah. And they break out into a little bit of Freebird. And he's like, I'm just kidding. And then they break out into a little bit of Every Rose Has Its Thorn. He's like, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, so, I'm cringing just hearing it.
So it was a good time. It was a good time.
It sounds like a fabulous evening.
It was a good time.
Okay.
And when we talk about the experience we had last Thursday night with the icons of metal on the black carpet at the Revolver Awards, you'll see that we had a sort of a recurring theme of Buble with some of these artists. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
You know, oddly enough, I just want to say that I knew you were going to Buble, and I wasn't happy about it. And as much as I tried to talk you out of it, yeah, I tried to talk you out of it. Didn't go over so good, obviously, but I did get a beautiful text at some point in the evening from your wife, because you wouldn't know how to do that.
No.
Because you are cell phoneless.
That's right.
But I did get a text from your seats in the 10th row. And I'd like to tell you what I think is funny about that.
Yeah.
So I get this picture, right? I'm going, God, I show Leah, I go, isn't that funny? You know what I mean? They're Buble, da-da-da-da. No more than, I don't know, half hour later, 40 minutes later, I get another text from Rachel and her husband, Stone.
Yeah.
Well, because they were at Opeth, and they sent me a picture of
That is
being
funny.
at Opeth.
That's funny.
I thought, how just surreal is this?
Right.
It is just so random.
Right.
So, yeah, very funny.
But
anyway,
in a twisted kind of way, I guess I'm proud of the fact that it could have gone either way. I'm just that kind of guy. It could have gone either way. I could have been in an Opeth show. I could have been in a Buble show, and either one, I would have been a happy camper. So I'm just that diverse.
You say diverse, I say gay. So you know what I mean? You say tomato, I say fag. And there you have it. All right.
Lying piece of sack of shit, slut trash can, scummy dirtbag, bitch!
Okay. Wow, this is very funny. All right. Well, I obviously touched a nerve.
Okay.
About Buble with your wife.
Oh, the Buble fans are going to start calling in droves now.
Your wife. She sent me an email about the 3 hits. I tried to ignore it, and then she sent me a text saying, check your email.
Yeah.
So that's funny, Kim. Home is a song recorded by Canadian pop jazz musician Michael Buble. Released in 2005.
That's not the same Home that's on Scenes from a Memory, by the way. Just in case you were wondering.
Well, he couldn't be that creative. 2 covers have also been released as singles. The first, Irish band Westlife, whose 2000 rendition of a top 10 hit in several European countries. American country music singer Blake Shelton covered a Buble song. Okay, very cute. Everything was nominated by a Grammy.
Yeah,
by
you'd recognize everything.
Jesus
if
Christ,
you heard
I get the fucking point. The guy, but let's just, haven't met you yet. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you something. The guy didn't write fucking 2112. How about that? And that's about it. That's about all I have to say about that.
Well, he is Canadian, though.
Oh, well, then he gets a pass.
He gets a pass.
He would have written 2112 if he could have.
He would have.
That's right.
He's working on 2113 right now because it's going to be one louder.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah,
well, that's a big weekend for you.
Yeah, so that was a big weekend.
I'm proud of you.
What have you been listening to?
I didn't listen to much because we had our head full of metal, and that was enough for me. But you know what I listened to? Finally heard the 2 songs that Mary J. Blige did, the 2 Zeppelin songs. She did "Stairway to Heaven" and "A Whole Lot of Love."
Oh, I didn't know she did "Whole Lot of Love." I heard "Stairway to Heaven."
Yeah, you didn't need to hear "A Whole Lot of Love."
Even Steve Vai couldn't salvage that train wreck.
Yeah, so this track has got Mary J. Blige on vocals, got Randy Jackson, not from Zebra, but from American Idol and Journey fame, on bass.
Let's not forget the Journey portion of his resume.
Well, that is his resume as far as I'm concerned. Although Randy Jackson's pretty talented too. But anyway, Travis Barker on drums, and I can't remember who was playing keyboards, but there's somebody playing keyboards on that track.
I think it was the guy from Renaissance.
Yeah, well, they couldn't pull him away from the 322nd reunion tour that they're doing.
Maybe it was Claude Schnell.
Where's Claude Schnell?
Claude Schnell and Mary J. Blige.
Maybe the greatest keyboard player in the history of rock.
Wouldn't that duo make your head explode?
Absolutely. It would have been great if it was Jordan from Dream Theater.
Oh, yeah.
How random would that have been?
Well, actually, was it? Oh no, it wasn't Jordan. It was Rio. I was thinking of not Jordan, but Rio from Spock's Beard. Mm-hmm. He actually tours with Celine Dion when he's not doing Spock's Beard.
Well, you got to make a buck.
Absolutely,
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I finally listened to the "Stairway to Heaven" track, and I really want to. I started out knowing I was going to hate it. It's just going to be an abomination. It's going to be miserable. Yeah. And you and I have talked about this before a million times, on air, off air, whatever. But there's just certain things you don't touch, and obviously, "Stairway to Heaven" is sort of that. Is sort of the holy grail of rock songs, and I just don't think you touch that song. But I listened to it, And you know what? It started out pretty good. I was like, Mary J. Blige is an excellent singer, great singer, actually. And it starts out just fine. In fact, the first 3 or 4 minutes are fine. It's a chick singing Stairway to Heaven. So whatever, that's not the first time that's happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but then it gets to the big, to the big rockin' part.
Right.
And it may be the biggest piece of shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was horrible. Just absolutely awful. And it brings me back to the point that I just made, which is there's certain songs that you just don't touch.
Right.
And it is exactly the reason. It made me wish for the puffy version of Cashmere. Like, that was even much more tolerable than this. It's just absolutely horrible. So, of course, right after that, I put on Whole Lotta Love. And that was even worse. That's like a dance electronica version of Whole Lotta Love.
Not necessary.
Well, I don't know what the point of this is. I mean, I know they're like...
Pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, giant twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I heard it.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of doing this? I know they're downloading, they're available for download, and you raise money for Haitian relief.
Right.
Couldn't you have picked Sweet Home Alabama, Sweet Home Haiti,
The Haitian anthem?
something? Why Stairway to Heaven? I mean, what would you know what I mean?
Stairway to Haitian.
What was your point? But what was the purpose of that?
Whole lot of Haitian.
You can't win when you make that song.
Haitian graffiti.
You just can't. You can't win. There's no way that song is going to be good.
Houses of the Haitian.
I'm just saying. What other song they should have done? There's a million other songs they could have done, but that. I don't understand the purpose.
Nah, I don't get it. Yeah, I gave it a couple of minutes chance, and I was done. No good.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah, I mean, send your hate mail to Mary J. Blige on that one.
Yeah,
miserable. So that was what I listened to, and that was enough to make me vomit all over myself.
Gotcha.
That's about it for me.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't listen to the artist that I'm going to go see on show night, or generally even a day or two before.
So you listen to Buble?
So I did not listen to any Buble.
I thought you said you don't listen to the artist.
Oh, take it easy. So I listened to. I kind of had a little rediscovering of Megadeth. I've been seeing Mustaine everywhere lately. We saw him on the red carpet. He was at the Revolver Awards.
Quite a cheer that young man got too.
Yeah,
all he did was walk down the corridor there, and people went nuts.
That's he was in Metallica. What do you want? But yeah, I mean, we saw him at the Revolver Awards. He was on Eddie Trunk's show the other night.
That metal show.
Plugging his upcoming book, and I've just been seeing him a lot of places lately.
I read that book.
Yeah, I would read that book. He's been plugging the book, which apparently is he's holding no punches in this one. He's letting out a lot of dirt supposedly. I want to read the chapter about Metallica giving him his walking papers. I'm sure that's going to be an entertaining little segment of the book.
Well, but did you know what the problem with that is? Then you're going to have to hear the response from Lars.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, Dave never actually was part of the band, man. It was always me and James. It was never really Dave.
Yeah. No, I mean, he most certainly was part of the band, although it was a short period of time. So Lars can't say that, but whatever.
Oh, yes, he could.
Whatever the reason, I mean, they gave him the boot. So I'm sure there's going to be a good story there. So I'm intrigued. I'll read the book. But
haven't we heard that story though?
I haven't. I mean, other than the actual detail of. I think they were in New York at the time, and
some dude's apartment.
They gave him a bus ticket or something.
Yeah, they woke him up and said, "You're out of the band."
Yeah, that's all I know. But I'm sure there's more leading up to it, so I'm curious to read it. So, having seen him so much lately, and his presence being sort of out there right now, I was intrigued. So I kind of pulled some of the old Megadeth that I haven't listened to in a little while. I've always liked Euthanasia. I like that record a lot, but I pulled out some of the others and kind of went through it. And when they were good, when they have their moments, they're really good. I'm not a fan of the whole body of work, but the good stuff I really like. And
Yeah.
so
Technically, they're very good.
yeah, they're really tight, and it's another one of those bands that if you catch them on a good night live, it's a good show, and
Yeah.
if you catch them on a not so good night, it's pretty lackluster.
Yeah. I think I've told this story before, but I remember seeing them at Long Beach Arena, and I think they were opening for Ozzy, actually. Although I could be wrong about that, but I think it was.
All right, you got to explain.
I was just in the mood.
That's quite a segue.
We all have our pop moments.
This is big. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
This is
it's good.
This is about a. This is not a stretch from Buble, sir.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Come on. What's the matter with you? So anyway, so we were at Long Beach Arena, and I just remember them coming on stage. In fact, I was with Souk at the show, and I do believe it was opening for Ozzy, and that band hit the stage, and we were in like the 6th row or something.
Right.
And I turned around, and I swear to God, every motherfucker in that arena wanted to get into my seat when that band hit the stage.
Yeah.
It was great. They were exceptional, with the exception of their cover of Anarchy in the UK, which I thought was ridiculous. They were great.
Did you happen to see him on the Yeti Trunk Show the other night?
No.
He talked about that, actually. Somebody was asking him about that cover of Anarchy in the UK and whether the Sex Pistols ever gave him any feedback on it. I didn't know that Steve Jones actually played on the track.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he played rhythm guitar on the track. And
anything for a buck.
he said Steve Jones apparently told Mustaine in the studio that day, I don't want to get paid or anything. I just want you to get me a blowjob tonight.
Jonesy said that?
Yeah.
Of course Jonesy was notorious for, especially back then, that he would ride his motorcycle down to the Rainbow. And he would do this 3 and 4 times a night. No joke, 3 and 4 times a night. But he'd ride his motorcycle down to the Rainbow because he lived real close. And he would pick up a chick. He would take her back to his house. He'd knock it out real quick, bring her back down there, drop her off, hang out for about an hour, find another chick, and bring her back up to the house. And he would do this daily. And that was his routine.
Wow.
When I saw him he opened for the Cult. No, not for the Cult. Who did he open for? He opened for somebody at the Universal Amphitheater.
He did open for the Cults for a little while. Maybe that was it.
Yeah, and that was on the Fire and Gasoline tour. If you haven't heard that record, we should play that record one night.
Yeah.
That's a great record. It's one of the few Steve Jones solo records. But I went backstage, and I do have a bit of a relationship with him now, but I didn't back then. And I went up, and a buddy of mine asked for his autograph.
Did he pick you up one night at the Rainbow on the back of his bike?
He did, and I'm still sore. But we were listening to Buble, so it all made sense.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were backstage at the Cult, and a buddy of mine went up and asked him for his autograph, and he had 2 of the most smoking-looking girls I've ever seen on his arm. And he did not say one word to him. He grabbed his little autograph book and his pen, and he signed his name. He didn't even look him in the eye, and he walked away with his 2 girls. I just thought that was very cool.
Nice.
Very rock star at the time.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, you, if you're just joining us now, you are listening to Usbin Radio. We are live in Los Angeles, and very pleased that tonight we are debuting our brand new phone number, which is toll free. So you could give us a call from anywhere on the planet, and it won't cost you a dime. Just dial 888-405-7440, and you will be in the bin. We're going to talk a little bit about our experience last Thursday night at the Revolver Golden God Awards and hanging out with the icons of heavy metal. But before we do that, we're going to take a little break, hear some tunes, and rock you out.
Like a hurricane.
Something like that.
Sorry, but I don't even trust me. 'Cause practice giving up and you feel Barnett. I'm with Brad and Joe from Used Men Radio. One of these guys has case, the other one has Buble. I don't think it's curable.
And welcome back to Used Men Radio.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
That was a little Megadeth. It was Train of Consequences. Kind of sounds like a little bit like Stephen Pearcy when he sings that song.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I listened to, he's like a couple of the
hearing Used Men Radio.
I listened to a couple of the new Rat songs.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What's that? Infestation.
Infestation. Yeah,
good.
I gotta tell you, it's really good.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
It's really good. It's really old school Rat. So if you like old Rat, then it's really good. I mean, there's nothing modern about it. They're certainly not embracing, the screaming vocals or anything else. I mean, this could have been written in 1988 for all we know. It's a really good record.
Maybe it was.
Maybe, I don't know. I was impressed.
A lot of those bands really should dig deep, as long as we're talking about 88 or whatever. A lot of those bands from the Strip, whether it's Rat, Poison, Dokken, any of those bands, there's still a wealth of material that they have from the club days that never saw the light of day. I would love to see one of those bands do it. I've always been bugged by the fact that, all right, I know Poison, for example, they got to release a record so they could do their usual summer tour and go on the road with Cinderella and, whoever else. But all they ever play is the old stuff anyway. So if you're going to put out a new record, why not just dig into that back catalog of demos? They've got half a dozen songs I can name off the top of my head that they used to do in the clubs that were better than stuff off their second or third record.
Because then they wouldn't have anything for the upcoming box set.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think this is all new material. It's all new Rat stuff. It's just really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I have. Well, I go back and forth with having respect for some of these bands that are actually going to make a record that sounds like who they are. You know what I mean? Like Rat making a record that sounds like a Rat record instead of trying to be, a modern band, which they're just not anymore.
Right.
So I respect them for being who they are. However, some bands that do that, I just go, what the fuck are you putting out a record for?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a waste of time and money. Like, just go tour and play the hits. Who needs to hear new songs?
Right.
But I think Rat did it really well, which I guess is why I like it.
Well, that's cool.
Motley Crue, on the other hand, who we're listening to now from this new Saints of Los Angeles record, which I guess isn't really new anymore, but I don't love this record.
No, but the title track, it does kind of harken back to Dr. Feelgood era. It sounds like something that could have come out right around that period. So they've never really lost the approach. I think their best riffs are behind them.
Oh, well, their best riffs were behind them after Shout at the Devil.
But at least they're still putting out reasonable stuff. It's not like, some of the crap that, some of the bands are putting out just as an excuse to get on the road, like Poison.
Well, they liked this record so much that they played Dr. Feelgood in its entirety on the tour.
Yeah. There you go.
There's your answer.
But Motley Crue and Rat and a lot of the bands we just mentioned were nowhere to be seen on Thursday night, but we were on the red carpet, technically a black carpet.
Right. It was a weird mix.
Which made a lot more sense to have a black carpet. But we were fortunate enough to be your representatives on the.
We're the only people in this show, except for Rachel.
But we were the representatives for our listening audience to go down there and chat a little bit with some of the people on the black carpet. A lot of the star power was out in full force. We saw Ozzy was down there, Dio was down there, Slash, Zombie, Alice Cooper. All the luminaries, if you will.
It was a funny mix, though, of old metal and new metal, which is, I think, obviously what they were going for. Because you're right, you had Ozzy and Halford, and I guess Slash is, considered old metal now, right?
Right.
And Dio, like you said, and Zakk Wylde, and then you had like Devil Wears Prada and As I Lay Dying, and I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. Chris Jericho from Fozzy hosting. It was a great mix of old and new metal, I thought.
Right.
And I don't know a lot of those. That's the funny thing is, I don't love a lot of those new bands.
Right.
But I thought they fit in perfectly. No, they were really good.
Yeah. So we were down at the Nokia Theater in Los Angeles, and this was presented obviously by Revolver, and so this was their second annual Golden God Awards, and so they were presenting awards for, you know, the usual best drummer, best guitarist, best vocalist, that kind of thing, and a couple of special achievement awards. For
It's great talking about this, listening to Frampton, by the way.
Absolutely. That's just wacky.
The irony is fantastic.
Sure. But we played a little bumper just a minute ago, actually, which was funny. That's from the MMA. That's Josh Barnett, who we had a chance to chat with. He was actually one of the first people we chatted with.
The first person. He's a funny dude, man.
He was very funny.
You know what surprised me about Josh Barnett?
Yeah.
Is that the guy is a big death metal, black metal guy.
Yeah.
Like, I was completely caught off guard.
You would think like guy working out like that would, you know, be cranking Metallica, you know, the Black Album in his iPod, or something a little bit more mainstream. Appetite for Destruction. No, not this guy. He was all about the Carcass and the obscure
shit that I'd never
black
heard
metal
of.
bands.
He's a cool dude, though. I liked him a lot.
In fact, we asked Josh what he's been listening to, and here's what he had to say.
So let me ask you real quick, what have you been listening to, man? What's in your iPod?
You know what? As of recently, I was listening to Exodus' Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. Before that, Ringworm, the Venomous Grand Design. You know, it's not always about what's new. It's just what I happen to be in the mood for, or what I haven't listened to in a while. I bought Carcass, Necrotizing. It's, you know, some
The Carcass, right? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The one right before Heartwork.
Okay.
So yeah, the guy's listening to, you know, he's pulling out Heartwork.
Yeah.
You know, he's pulling out Heartwork and pre-Heartwork Carcass albums on his iPod. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing here? Like, I mean, I know he was nominated for Best Metal Athlete, but still, it was, to me, it's just such a weird category anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought the guy was totally cool.
Yeah,
totally
absolutely.
funny. And it was, I mean, I didn't know this, but, and I like watching MMA, you know, a lot actually. And he was kicked out of the UFC for steroids, and he was going to fight, which is, I guess, arguably the best fighter in all of MMA, not the UFC, but all of MMA, Fedor. And that fight got stopped because he got busted for steroids again. In fact, he's been busted for steroids 3 times.
Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
But I don't know. Couldn't have been cooler when we talked to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's he knows his black metal.
He knows his black metal, and but you know, he admitted it wasn't just black metal that he listens to, because we even kicked around, you know, like the Buble topic with him, and some of the guilty pleasures that's in Josh Barnett's iPod. Maybe. Any non-metal guilty pleasures in your iPod these days?
Tons. The only thing you're not going to find in my iPod is country music. That's it. But you know, it runs a gamut from jazz music. A friend of mine, David Pastorius, great. Well, he's got a lot of metal flavor and different influences all across the board. But you know, he plays jazz music, and I love it. Yeah, he's incredible.
So you like good. You guys that can play.
I like guys that can play. I like anything that kind of moves me. I've got a lot of. I listened to Misfits the other day. You know.
Oh, good for you. No, that's good.
Punk it out or some vibes or whatever. It just depends on what the mood is. I've got plenty of R&B, soul music, funk music.
No Michael Buble.
No Buble.
Just fucking with him. That's a smart man.
He's got talent, I think. I mean, of course, he does a lot of covers.
Right, that's right.
But he, as a singer, he's got ability.
So, you know, my partner, Joe, is a big Buble guy.
Big Buble guy.
That's not going to go over well with this crowd, though, tonight.
No, but that's why I'm saying that's okay. We got him protected.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm not going to mention names, but I've talked to guys before, and I go, well, what do you listen to when you're not doing your thing? And they're like, I don't listen to metal at all.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Well, this is great. I'm rocking out here tonight with some of my favorite metal, and then tomorrow night he's across the street at Staples, so I get my Buble fix.
Get your Buble fix? You're like, oh, God, I need some Buble right now.
I know, that can't make you feel good, can it?
He's got to get Buble shakes.
That's right.
It's a little weird.
You're jonesing for Buble.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was when we had to separate the two of them because Josh was about to go off on Joe. No, I'm teasing. That was very funny. He's a good sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was fun. But that was like the very, very beginning of the night.
Right.
You know, I just want to mention really quick, too, all the audio that we're giving you guys tonight is all exclusive audio because, like Joe had mentioned earlier, we were on the black carpet, so we got to talk to a bunch of different people. And there's audio clips, a bunch of different audio clips floating around, but you won't hear this stuff anywhere else.
Yeah.
Well, although the superconductor might, you know what I mean, it might be floating out there. Any excuse to play anything off Presto.
What's the odds that they're going to pull this one out on the Time Machine tour?
Yeah, that Time Machine doesn't go back that far. Well, actually, I guess it does, but only for one record.
Yeah.
I should say only for 2 songs.
Yeah,
well, we'll get
to that later. All right. So Josh Barnett was a sport, and then we had a chance to chat with Rudy Sarzo. You know,
totally cool.
Who's totally cool, and you know, you would expect him to be at an event like this.
But you and I have been seeing Rudy Sarzo forever, right?
Forever.
Literally, at least 20 years.
Right.
We've been watching that guy play.
Dude, I used to go see him in early 80s. I would see him in clubs.
Right.
Like Pre-Quiet Riot and, you know.
So wacky.
Yeah.
And there he is today on the Revolver Golden God Awards. Black carpet.
So, of course, we had to ask Rudy, you know, what he was looking forward to seeing. And because of his connection with Ronnie James Dio, we had to ask about Dio's health. So here's a little chat with Rudy. So who are you looking forward to seeing tonight, Rudy?
Everybody.
Yeah?
I think Ronnie James Dio is going to be here, Ozzy's going to be here, Slash is going to be here, so I'm looking forward to seeing all those guys. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you've been in touch with Ronnie. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing terrific. I spoke with him yesterday. That's how I found out he was going to be here.
Oh,
So he told me. So I know he's doing fantastic. He's about done with his therapy.
Good deal.
And you'll probably get to ask him that question yourself.
Beautiful.
So that was cool. That was fun. Rudy Sarzo's cool, and I know Rudy plays with Dio when Dio's doing actual Dio shows and not Heaven and Hell shows or anything else. So
right.
Has Rudy Sarzo played with everybody?
Yeah, pretty much. He's one of those guys that, God, I can't.
Whitesnake,
Whitesnake,
Blue Oyster Cult,
Ozzy.
Dio.
He's made the rounds.
But when he told us that we'd get a chance to ask him ourselves, that was when I think it hit both of us.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the fact that Ozzy and Dio were going to be at the same place, that's a little
at the same
odd.
time.
Ozzy and Dio in the same room is a little wacky.
Very weird.
So when he's not doing working with Ronnie, he's also doing the Blue Oyster Cult thing now. In fact, we asked him a little bit about that. Well, so what are you working on right now?
A bunch of stuff, between when Ronnie goes out with Heaven and Hell, I tour with Blue Oyster Cult.
Right.
And we just finished wrapping the VH1 classic Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
So
it needs more cowbell.
Yeah, it needs a lot more cowbell. I would go see Blue Oyster Cult just to see how Rudy fits into that, because that's an odd mix.
Absolutely.
Here's this
who I would think.
Truly like an 80s rock bass player, and more or less a 70s arena rock band. That's an odd mix.
Absolutely.
That would be like Nikki Sixx touring with the
Moody Blues,
like Foghat.
Foghat.
Although, actually, let's shift gears for a second. You know where I'm going with this?
I do.
When talking about the awards themselves, besides the black carpet experience, one of the first awards of the night was Zakk Wylde.
Right.
And Zakk, in fact, opened the show. He did the Star Spangled Banner on guitar, very Hendrix-esque, although gave it his modern flair. And shortly after his opening, Kerry King from Slayer inducted Zakk into the Revolver Golden Gods and gave him his award as Guitar Player of the Year. What I personally found amusing, and I had to do a double take, really, when he was naming off his guitar influences, Zakk Wylde mentioned Randy Rhoads, of course,
right,
Eddie Van Halen,
right,
and then followed up those two to fulfill his hat trick with Frank Marino.
Dude. And two guys. There was
Does
two
anybody
guys
else find it weird that Zach Wilde is referencing Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush?
There were two guys in the whole club that screamed, that started to clap, and that was you and me.
Yeah,
that was so weird. Actually, the guy next to us mentioned Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush.
There were three of us.
Yeah,
and the three of us looked at each other in this moment of like stunned silence, going, "Did you just say Frank Marino?"
Yeah, that was random.
That was wacky,
very bizarre. But yeah, he fun.
Oh, we asked Rudy Sarzo our favorite question. I forgot to tell you about that. Here we go.
I was there.
No, I mean the audience.
Sorry.
Something that we've been dying to ask you. If you were trapped on a desert island, and you could only bring one Rush album with you?
I'll bring the greatest hits.
Cheesy answer. Rudy, I'm sorry. Greatest hits?
Really?
Come
on,
the best
Rudy.
you could come up with, huh? All right.
Fucking bummer. That's okay. That's not the worst answer we got to that question of the night.
That's true.
For sure.
Yeah, let's shift gears to that. So, talking new metal now.
Right.
We're talking about some kids. really talking kids. So, these guys, I think they're like 12 years old.
Right.
And I'm talking about the five little boys in this new metal band called The Devil Wears Prada, which Brad did a little research before the show and found out they got their name as you would expect from the book, because they were around before the Meryl Streep movie, but they based their name on the book.
Right. I guess the band's been only been around since 2005. Yet they're on their third record, and I'll tell you something. I'm going to tell this story now.
Go ahead.
I can.
Go ahead.
But I didn't know much about Devil Wears Prada. I knew that they were one of those, Cookie Monster bands, but I didn't really know much about them. And so we're talking to them, and they look like one of the kids, the guy that plays guitar and sings, looks like. Probably looks like me when I was in high school or whatever. Just looks like a little Hesher kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we're talking to them and stuff, and we find out, they're going to South America and they're going to Brazil on this tour, and they're very excited about it. And so, we turn off the tape recorder, and we say, have a great time in Brazil. And they go, thanks, we're really looking forward to it. And I said, you're going to have, the women down there are beautiful. You're really going to have a great time. Like you're really going to love the women down there.
Yeah.
And the guy just sort of looked at me, the guy who was like me when I was a kid, just looked at me and went, what did he say? He said,
like, I'll watch out for that.
No, he said, he said something like, thanks for that. And I went, oh, that was a weird reaction. Usually you can start to have a conversation about, guys start talking about chicks, right? We didn't have that conversation. So I went home and tried to, and it bugged me for whatever reason. And I woke up and I looked it up, but they're a Christian band. Yeah. And I'm talking to this guy about chicks in Brazil. So I felt like an asshole, sort of.
Nice.
But, he still should be excited to look at the chicks.
Absolutely.
Just because he's a Christian doesn't mean he can't look at chicks.
There you go.
Does it?
No. You could look, but you can't touch. Isn't that a Poison song? Off the second album?
Isn't everything a Poison song?
But I had to ask the kids from Devil Wears Prada about the name. You can't meet five guys in a band called Devils Wear Prada and not invoke the Meryl Streep movie. So I had to ask.
That's all good. Take your time.
So when the guys from Devil Wears Prada are on the tour bus and you're out rocking the nation, do you have the Meryl Streep movie on VHS on the tour bus?
No, unfortunately, no. We only watch Blu-rays.
They only watch Blu-rays. But
that's the funny thing is you said VHS.
Yeah.
I just picked that up.
Well, that was one more reason why, talking to those guys, it made me aware of the age difference between, old school metalheads,
right,
like ourselves,
right.
Even though I was at Buble on Friday night, old school metalheads like ourselves, and the new metal kids. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
When we were asking, like the girls from Eyes Set to Kill, Alexia and Anissa Rodriguez, who were also nominated for Sexiest Rock Chicks of the Year. We were talking to them for a little while, and talking about the kind of music that you grew up on.
Right.
And it's weird how, the bands that they're referencing are bands that are like a 90s footnote to us.
Right.
Because, that question, if we pose it to any of our pals, you'd get the usual barrage of, Maiden and Rush and Zeppelin or whatever. No, these guys are more like, no, I was influenced by Muse, or I was influenced by My Chemical Generation or My Chemical Wedding. Yeah, My
Chemical Romance. You know, it's funny. It's Chemical Wedding. That was a great Dickinson record.
That's what I was thinking of.
When we asked Devil Wears Prada because they were nominated for Best Live Band,
right?
You know, we got into like what makes a great live band, and they were talking, you know, about just being, you know, dedicated to the performance of it. And I had said, you know, like for us, great live bands are technically proficient bands like Rush and Dream Theater. And they had no clue what I was talking about.
Their eyes just glazed over at that point, which made me realize, wow, there's a big age gap between us and them, and what we were listening to.
Well, look, man, when you're 8 years old and you're in a band who's got their fourth record or third record coming out, and you're from Dayton, Ohio,
right?
I mean,
you don't know a lot of Rush.
I guess not, although you should.
Yeah. So we had to go there. We had to ask them our favorite little question.
So you guys are trapped on a desert island. You can only bring one Rush album with you.
Rush album? I never listened. I have to call my dad really quick. I don't know the names, but I definitely know the song. So.
I've watched many a Neil Peart videos in my day, but I don't know any of the song names.
He's watched many Neil Peart videos, but he doesn't know the song name. And did you hear, like, really low on the mix? Unfortunately, the audio wasn't great on that. But one of the guys was like, I don't know, can I call my dad?
Yeah. Well, I give him points for referencing Peart.
Right. At least he knew that. Mm-hmm. At least he knew that. But he couldn't name a Rush song.
But he knew Peart.
All right.
So you give him credit for that.
All right. But he's in a band called The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were.
I had never seen them before, but so, like, I don't know, they came out on stage and they played 3 songs and they had a keyboard. Yeah. I was like, they're really a keyboard player in this band. How cool is that? And what's the other thing, too, I just wanted to mention what was fun about the live performances,
right,
was that everybody played a little mini set. There was it wasn't like your typical award show where you get one, you know, you're kind of one and done, but everybody got 3 songs, which I thought was a really, really great idea.
I'm sure when they air this thing, and it's going to air on VH1 Classic on May 22nd, but when they air the Revolver Golden God Awards, I'm sure they're going to edit that down, unfortunately, so you probably won't get, I could be wrong, but you probably won't get all the performances that we saw that night at the show, and you certainly won't get all of the multiple takes that it took Chris Jericho and Andrew WK to get their cue cards right.
I'll tell you what was
and there
funny.
was a lot of that.
Yeah, what was funny about that is I don't think Andrew WK was very well received.
No, he wasn't. There were hecklers, actual hecklers in the metal audience. They were
afraid to.
They were like, "You suck."
They're afraid to heckle Jericho. Yeah, Jericho kicked the shit out of them.
But they were heckling WK. They were saying like you suck and stuff like that, which is really really kind of funny.
I would agree. Pretty goddamn funny.
You fuck.
So let's talk about the performances for a second, and we'll shift back to the black carpet. So after the Zakk Wylde opening with the Star Spangled Banner, which was very cute, he had the Marines color guard out there with their flags. So it was a whole patriotic situation going on. But then the first,
I don't know,
it was a little cheesy.
2 words come to mind.
What?
Spinal
Tap. All right, fair enough. But the first real true performance of the night was the Slash All-Star Jam supergroup. So he had from Wolfmother on vocals Andrew Stockdale. He had Lemmy.
Well, that was Well, then he came back and he had Miles Kennedy.
Right.
So Andrew Stockdale did his song on the record, and then Miles Kennedy came out from Alter Bridge.
Right.
But Miles Kennedy, he's going to be the touring singer anyway.
Right.
So he came out and he did one of the songs that he sings on the record.
Right. Then he brought out, he had Dave Grohl on drums, he had Lemmy on bass, they did a monster version of Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. That was good energy.
Good.
Although I remember standing in the audience and getting the distinct feeling that a lot of the crowd thought this was even a little too old school for them. Did you get that feeling? I think a lot of people, particularly down in the pit, a lot of the young kids down in the pit, not that I'm like, oh, there's those youngsters down in the pit.
Yeah,
not that I'm doing that.
I know what you mean.
But I think they were looking for a different kind of metal night. And it wasn't about Slash and the Party Ninjas, you know?
They're all going to be so reintroduced to Lemmy in about 2 months when that documentary comes out.
Absolutely.
They're going to look back on that and think how cool it was that they were in the presence of Lemmy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I just want to go back to Slash and Andrew Stockdale for a minute.
Okay.
I've seen Wolfmother a couple of times, but I've never seen him in a club setting. Jesus Christ. that guy's a monster.
Yeah.
That guy can rip.
Oh, yeah.
I was blown away how great that guy sounded. In a small little club like that, it's whatever. It's obviously a little more intimate, but that guy is absolutely fantastic live. Absolutely nailed it. And like I said, I've seen them before. I've seen him in big festival settings.
Right.
It's nothing like this. I mean, he was fucking great. Didn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the whole band, even though he just kind of threw it together as a jam, they were all pretty tight. And you made mention, too, and I have to totally agree with you, that when Dave Grohl is playing drums, dude, you're taken to school.
Yeah.
He was just, like, destroying those drums.
That guy is so good.
Yeah.
He really is. I mean, he's really better than good.
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to pound right through those fucking drums, and he looked like he was having the time of his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was playing with Lemmy. It's got to be one of his heroes, too.
But that's the thing is, like, I'm looking at that stage, and you see Lemmy, and you see Slash, and you see Dave Grohl. Right. And you would think this is Slash's deal. You know what I mean? Even though it's like they're honoring Lemmy, he's the hero of the deal. But it's Slash. Slash is the star. Not to be.
Not
Dave
true.
Grohl outshines everybody when he's on stage.
Yeah,
although
that's true.
Maybe with the exception of John Paul Jones, but I mean, he outshines everybody. He's an absolute fucking beast.
Yeah. So when
that was spectacular.
So when it was time for Slash to make the phone calls to put this together, I think Grohl was the right choice because otherwise he could have gone with Steven Adler.
Well, but just real quick, he played on the record. Dave Grohl did. Yeah. He played on that record, but he was good. And I just want to make one mention because I think it would be unfair not to. But Miles Kennedy, that guy was great too.
Yeah,
that guy can really sing as well.
Absolutely.
But Andrew Stockdale, he just reminded me of a young Chris Cornell when Chris Cornell was just like at the
he was hitting notes that were just like
retarded.
Really, really, and it wasn't
rock singer,
and it wasn't screechy notes. It was just like. Dude.
A really talented rock singer.
Yeah.
Just like Cornell.
Yeah.
Who I think has the best voice in rock.
And I was just kind of half kidding, but did Adler play? Because hasn't Slash and Steven Adler like sort of...
He's on the record.
He is on the record.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a mini Guns N' Roses reunion.
I guess.
But that's good because, I mean, all we've seen of Steven Adler in the last few years is like Celebrity Rehab.
And Sober House.
Yeah, which was kind of funny because when we were on the black carpet, we saw this guy named Colby Vale, who is the singer in a band called
Dope Snake.
Dope Snake, that's right. But he was also in Steven Adler's band, Adler's Appetite.
Right. I just want to say, I went in because who the fuck knows who this guy is?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Colby Vale?
Did you?
No, I didn't.
No clue. And to his publicist's credit, instead of having like a little thing that goes around telling you who he is, she wrote it on her tits.
Yeah.
So we all would look. And it worked. But that's another issue.
Yeah, she had Colby Vale, formerly of Steven Adler's Appetite, and an arrow across her chest.
And there he was.
And he was always standing to the right of her, so the arrow was always pointing at him.
Funny.
Yeah, that was clever.
But I listened to Dope Snake.
Oh, how was that for you?
If anyone else has listened to Dope Snake before, if you have, let us know. I didn't like it, really.
Oh.
But I liked him.
Well, here's Colby Vale.
Tell us about what you got going on.
I'm in a band called Dope Snake that's doing really well. It's out on Cleopatra Deadline Records. And we're getting ready to go in and record a new record. I have a band called Hollywood Roses I've been doing for 10 years, a little over. Got a brand new lineup for the new decade and getting ready to go on tour down to South America and start on May 7th and at the Whiskey.
So he's going to kick off his tour at the Whiskey, which kind of gives you an idea of the hugeness, the hugeness that is Dope Snake. Yes. But of course, the question that we wanted to ask Colby Vale, because of his affiliation with Steven Adler, was whether he had watched the Celebrity Rehab thing, and if that was all fake, or what's Steven's deal. So here's his take on it.
Did you watch Celebrity Rehab?
I did. It was really hard to kind of watch the Sober House,
right?
Because it's not as campy; it's more real. And I've seen that look, but he's doing in that hip ball.
So how much of that is the real deal, or how much of that is like for show?
You know what? They didn't need. All they needed was a personal. You could have followed him around with a camera at any given time. he was a fucking mess. He was. But, thank God he found the light. Slash helped him out a lot.
So yeah, that's pretty funny that he actually copped to the fact that Steven's a mess,
right? But then he tried to cover it up. But he's such a great guy.
But he's such a great guy,
and he's doing really well.
And Slash has helped him out a lot. So yeah,
I thought that was nice to hear. Actually,
yeah.
That, Slash is quite the active, sober guy these days. Yeah. He's helping everybody out. So good for Slash.
Yeah, absolutely. Another bouncing back to the actual awards. Another thing that was interesting is go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm going to bust. We crank this. Listen to this for a second,
please.
This isn't who you think it is. Can you pick up who the singer is? Listen to the drums for a minute.
Is this? It's not Grohl, is it?
No. Just listen to the fills.
Well, the guy's playing like Keith Moon because those are crazy fills. Who is it?
Portnoy.
That's genius.
Right? With Neil Moore singing.
Oh, sure. Now I got the voice.
Right.
Wow. Nice.
This gets kooky.
This is the Amazing Journey.
Oh yeah, it gets stupid. Call me silly.
No, that's good.
But this version,
that's
I would listen to
stuff.
this version maybe over the original because it just rocks.
Oh yeah, this is serious.
Fat.
Nice. On the black carpet that night, Rob Halford,
the metal god,
who was unfortunately monopolized pretty much by Eddie Trunk, so we didn't get a chance to chat with Rob.
We got big timed a few times by Eddie Trunk, but that's all right. That's they have a TV schedule.
I'm sure some videos will end up surfacing on YouTube of some of the interviews on the carpet that night, and so you might just see us because on this long black carpet of press that we're interviewing everybody, we were the last stop on the black carpet before the Eddie Trunk VH1 stage.
Right.
So we're probably in the background behind Eddie and his guys.
You'll recognize Joe. He's the one that's got the Buble shirt on. That says,
actually, no,
I've got big penis because I love Buble.
Actually, no, I was wearing a Marillion shirt that night.
Oh yeah,
because I knew that the Devil Wears Prada would know exactly the whole backstory on Marillion.
They did. They came up to you and said fish, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
right?
He's still in the band, isn't he? You remember when that happened at the Rush show?
Yeah, we were at some Rush show, and I was wearing
at Nokia Theater.
At Nokia, and somebody came up to me and saw my Marillion shirt.
Who was it? It was
James. Actually,
James, right? And she said, "Oh my God, I love Marillion."
Yeah,
and I think we were all a little. Like, really?
Because we don't get that comment often enough.
Oh, but she was gushing over his shirt. Can I have your shirt? He said, really?
Like, no,
she said, but I'll buy it. He goes, really? And she said, yeah.
For that one moment, I thought, okay, she's a diehard.
Of course
That's awesome. So I asked her, do you go to the conventions? Are you still following them? What's your deal? She's like, I didn't know they were still around. Is Fish still in the band?
That was the line.
I was like, oh, boy.
Wah, wah, wah. You lose. Thanks for calling. Good night.
Okay, who's the jerk?
Yeah.
So
anyway, as we digress.
But Rob Halford was on the carpet, and one of the things he said that was kind of funny was he knew he was going to be presented for his Lifetime Achievement Golden God Award by...
I am a golden god!
He was going to be presented with his award by none other than his fellow Birmingham mate, Ozzy Osbourne. And that's exactly what Ozzy sounded like, because I don't think he was on the right meds that night. And so apparently... Exactly. So apparently before the show, Rob kind of half-jokingly told Ozzy, look, if you're not on the right meds tonight, you should try to keep my induction speech kind of short. And so all he said was, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Halford. Yeah, they're rocking pretty hard here.
Oh, wait.
Brad is rocking out.
Dude, let's listen to Portnoy go nuts. He's got his nuts are just massive right now. He's doing this.
You're missing a great visual of Brad air drumming like Keith Moon right now. He's rocking.
It's
his
like
headphones.
Between,
his headphones just fell off.
It's a cross between Keith Moon and Animal from the Muppets. Nice. Remember when we saw him do this with Gary Sharon?
Yeah,
and Paul Gilbert
and Gary stage dive
right into the cymbal,
right into the drums.
And that didn't go over so good.
Yeah,
that set was great.
Yeah, that was huge. Okay. That was huge.
That was the Portnoy Who tribute.
Indeed,
show.
Indeed. We got to talk to the host. We got to talk to Chris Jericho, the man himself, who was hosting the event, which is always cool when you get the man in charge. And so we figured he was going to be excited about hosting the show. So we asked him, are you excited? Because it seemed like everybody was there. And here's what he had to say.
Very much excited as a fan, as a performer, as a musician. It's just all across the board. Everybody is here. Ron Keel is even here. Even Keel is here?
Yeah. Even Joe Mama's here.
Is that right? Joe Mama Bessa.
I've heard of that guy.
Exploded in a little green globule on stage.
He's a funny dude.
Even Joe Mama's here.
That's right. You know what's funny about Jericho? Is I forget that he's a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Well,
he's also in his own band. He's got Fozzy.
But that's now what I think of him as.
Oh, you think of him as Fozzy?
Right. I forget that he's a wrestler, and I forget he's got that wrestler personality. You know what I mean? That comic book kind of guy, that comic book superhero guy come to life.
Right.
So when he comes out and he does those interviews, he's back to wrestler guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's Roddy Piper. Oh no, that's Vinnie Paul.
Yeah. We spoke to Vinny because what metal black carpet. I keep saying red carpet. What metal black carpet would be complete without Vinnie Paul from Pantera?
Right.
And he's currently working on this band Hell Yeah. And so we had
Vinnie Paul.
We had a chance to introduce Vinnie Paul to Usbin Radio, and here's what he had to say.
Usbin Radio, all right.
There you go.
Good to be here.
Vinny, excited to be at the Golden God Awards.
Very excited, man.
All metal, man. All metal tonight.
It was great last year, and it looks like it's going to be bigger and better this year and a lot more fun. So, hey, man, let's get this organized train wreck on, man.
There you go. Who are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
Everybody that's here, man. It's a great time to bring us all together. We're all going to do a lot of drinking together, listen to some kick-ass music, and just have a blast tonight, man.
Beautiful. What have you been listening to, man? What's in your iPod?
You really want to know?
I do, honest to God.
I've been in the studio working on the new Hell Yeah record, and that's all I've been listening to, and I got it embedded in my head, but it comes out July 13th on Sony Epic Records. It's called Stampede, and we're going to be on tour for 2 years nonstop, starting April 24th with Alice in Chains in Tampa.
Hey, and I got a little car I want to show you. It's a Dodge van. That's right. It's a 1987 Dodge van. Hell yeah, woo!
That's right. That's what he sounds like, which is funny because one of the little comedy video clips that they played during the course of the awards had him as sort of a who's the guy that used to do the infomercials that passed away last year?
Fuck.
It's not Stillwater.
The Coke dude. Billy Mays. Hey, I'm Billy Mays.
So it had Vinnie Paul doing sort of the Billy Mays chick. He was like at the rainbow going.
See, to me, he's like a cross between Cal Worthington.
Right.
Remember Cal Worthington?
Sure.
Right? Cal Worthington, the
Go
car
see
salesman.
Cal.
Hey, Cal Worthington in my dog spot. I'm Vinnie Paul. Check me out. Hell yeah, woo!
Hell yeah, woo!
He was cool, though. I liked Vinnie Paul a lot. And what was funny about Vinnie Paul is he is certainly like the like a matriarch of metal in that scene, and he's treated as such, as he should be. I mean, Pantera is very influential on a lot of those bands, and he was treated with a lot of respect. I thought was cool.
Absolutely. As was Zakk Wylde, who we also saw on the black carpet, and we had to ask him about his health and sobriety and what Black Label's up to. So here's what Zakk had to say.
First thing we got to ask you, man, is how you feeling? How's your health?
I'm doing fine, man. Like I said, I haven't had a stitch of alcohol in what now? Is it 8 months now? I feel like I did it before, but less happy.
There you go. So your mental health's not so good. Physically, much better.
Yeah, I guess physically, mentally sad.
Right. So what's going on for Black Label Society?
No, we're working on a new album right now. It should be out probably. We start the tour in July.
So
Cool.
I'm glad he's doing better and that he's getting ready to go out on tour. Yeah, he looked really good.
Fat.
Yeah, he put on a few pounds, but
good.
Like he said, he hadn't been drinking in a while, so he's not feeling mentally. He's not feeling so good, but he's probably a lot healthier.
I think some of that is just shtick.
Withdrawals and shtick.
No, I just think some of it's shtick. I mean, I think that guy's happy. He's just happy to be alive, happy to be healthy. And because I tell you, I've seen him drunk a lot of times at the Rainbow or wherever, and he's a mean bastard.
Oh, really?
I thought so. I mean, maybe it was just me, but I thought he was kind of a mean dude.
That was probably the night you were wearing the Buble T-shirt. He doesn't take too kindly to that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And Buble and a penis.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, he could not have been any cooler of a guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
just a nice dude, and he's a little shtick.
Yeah.
But he's such he just came across extremely genuine.
Yeah.
Extremely almost happy that someone asked him about his health.
Right.
I thought anyway.
Which is once we talked about that, he really kind of opened up and he hung with us for a little while. In fact, that's when it dawned on us that it really sort of was a milestone that Ozzy and Dio were going to be in the same room on the same stage on the same night.
And who better are you going to ask about that?
You got to ask Zach about that because I don't think that's ever happened before. So we went right to Zach with that question. Or maybe.
I'm going to do my Zach impression.
Isn't it weird that tonight Ozzy and Dio could be in the same room?
You know what? They're cool. They're both. Ozzy,
has that happened before?
I don't think so, but I mean, Ozzy, he's always like, because both Dio, Ronnie James Dio's ever said to me, he said, "Hey man, Zach, always tell Ozzy," I said, "Hi." He's a great guy. He's a sweetheart, man, and so's the boss. I mean, absolutely cool guys. I mean, at the point that you think for 1 minute those guys care what the hell the other guy is doing.
So
that's a great answer.
So Dio's a sweetheart, Ozzy's the boss. But do you think for 1 minute that either of those guys care at all?
And do you dispute one word of that?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because Dio is absolutely a sweetheart.
It's one of those controversies that we've cooked up as metal fans, but behind the scenes, I'm sure there's no controversy at all.
Right.
Although just once, it would be kind of fun to see them sharing vocal duties on an old Sabbath song.
I gotta say this.
Just once.
You know it's probably more interesting than Ozzy and Dio in the same room together?
What's that?
Would be Sharon Osbourne and Wendy Dio in the same room together.
That would be fun.
Now that would be a fucking fight.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's like celebrity deathmatch right there. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Absolutely.
I wanted to say this really quick about Zach Wilde. Was that I have one Zach story that I wanted to tell you. I never knew Zach Wilde could sing for the longest. This is before Black Label Society.
Right.
I never knew the dude could sing. And we were at a show that Ozzy was doing at Irvine Meadows. And I snuck into the sound check. And I was sitting...
Sneaky.
Right, I was right by the soundboard. And, Ozzy doesn't sound check. So Zach was doing all the vocals. And he came up and he sang No More Tears. And it was better than Ozzy. I
think there's actually a demo
of that.
Yeah, that was like either a B-side or maybe it was like on some promo release where it's the Zach vocal demo.
He's good, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But oddly enough, I don't think he sings as well on Black Label Society stuff as he did then.
Yeah, no, that's true.
He tore it up. I was dumbfounded. I was like, really, wow, this guy can fucking sings better than Ozzy.
I was just watching a few minutes of the movie Rockstar, where he's one of the
Rockstar,
where Zach Wilde was one of the members of Steel Dragon. And that was a few pounds ago, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, how he how he kind of cheeses it up a little bit. He's like, "You're partying with the big boys now."
Right. I don't know. I was impressed with Zach.
He had to cringe when he saw that script.
Right. I was very impressed with Zach Wilde.
Just before we go to a little break and wrap this up, I just wanted to give you some of the winners of some of the awards at the Revolver Awards. Again, this was the Revolver Golden God Awards.
I am a golden god.
Yes, you are, partner. And it's going to air on VH1 Classic on May 22nd. Rob Halford received a Golden God Lifetime Achievement Award. Zach Wilde won for Best Guitarist. Best Underground Band, Dillinger Escape Plan. And remember their acceptance speech? They just rambled and rambled. It was like
they were accepting the Academy Award.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually got music. They got played out.
That was great.
Dio came up, and was he wearing little white elfin boots? I think he was wearing little white elfin boots.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
But he came up for best vocalist.
Looking great, by the way. Healthy.
Yeah, he did look good.
Yeah, he looked good. And I have to tell you, he was the most grateful. Like, he was genuinely grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although he always seems to be, like, he always seems very genuine when he speaks. But I think he just seemed very grateful and very happy to be there. For him, it could have been an Academy Award. You wouldn't have known the difference.
No, he looked really good. You'd never know he was 33 years old.
Well, it's because he's 23.
Oh, that explains it. So, comeback of the year, no surprise there, Alice in Chains.
Right.
Best live band, Metallica, which, they won that. This little unknown band, Metallica, won over The Devil Wears Prada in that category. That's weird to me.
Remember when we asked them who was good? If you guys don't win, who do you think should win?
Yeah.
And he just looked at us and said, we won't win. That's funny.
Yeah, it was a weird category because it was like Metallica and Slayer and Rob Zombie and The Devil Wears Prada. That was a weird category.
Little Billy Corgan for you.
A little Billy Corgan. Album of the year went to Alice in Chains. Best drummer of the year went to Jimmy the Rev Sullivan of Avenged Sevenfold, which is a nice little nod. And hottest metal chick, Maria Brink from In This Moment. I've been championing that band for a little while. I really like them. Good metal band, and she's a great singer.
God bless.
So it was a fun night out at the Revolver Golden God Awards.
I am a golden god.
Yeah. So
I love this song. Have I played you this song?
Yeah.
Did I play it for you?
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
It's the new Smashing Pumpkins song.
Yeah, I was going to say this isn't old stuff.
No, this is brand new, but sounds old.
Yeah.
This is like Siamese Dream Gish era Pumpkins, it sounds like to me.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not melancholy.
No, and infinite sadness.
Infinite sadness.
But you know that they're releasing this, and the other two songs will be available as a package for Record Store Day on Saturday.
And I got your package.
Go to your local record store and go buy records on Saturday.
That's right, because it's Record Store Day. Give us a call. We've got a toll-free number for you, 888-405-7440. Anywhere on the planet, you could call us. We'll pick up the tab. Or, as always, drop us an email at usedbinradio@usedbin.com. Do it now. Do it in this moment.
And when we come back, Rush and Roger Waters. The fucking wall!
Nice.
Before I
Vinny Paul from Hell Yeah, and you're kicking ass here with Brad and Joe on You've Been Radio. Crank it up, yeah!
Hey, welcome back to Used Bin Radio. Brad and Joe with you on Tuesday night, rocking and rolling.
Hey.
Quick reminder that we have got a Used Bin Radio Facebook page, so go ahead and check that out and be our friend.
Friend.
We've got new friends since the show started, so thank you, new friends.
Thank you.
And I think you're supposed to post things on walls. I don't really understand what all that means, but I will soon. So will you do what you're supposed to do, and then I'll catch up? And tell your friends about Used Bin Radio, and then we'll be their friends, and they'll be our friends. We'll have a lot of friends, and we'll be friendly with each other, and maybe we will not talk about Buble ever again. Hey, I got something I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know that you can get your piece of the internet with GoDaddy.com?
Really?
You can. You can go to purerockradio.net.
Not Axel.
/ GoDaddy for coupon codes like 10% off all GoDaddy hosting plans. $5 off any GoDaddy purchases of $30 or more.
Really?
Or $7.49 domain names.
So for $7.49, I could pick up michaelbuble.com?
No.
Oh, it's probably taken.
You can pick up, hey, this is Vinny Paul. I got a Dodge, 78 Dodge Shan, sell you. Woo, hell yeah, woo! Hey, thanks to this new partnership, all purchases using our coupon codes will directly benefit shows like the one you're listening to right now. That's purerockradio.net /
Not Axel.
GoDaddy for a complete list of coupon codes, or enter POD167 to save 10% on all GoDaddy hosting packages today.
Do it now.
That's right.
Do it now.
All right, let's get right down to it. The big tour announcement last week.
Big tour announcements
was our good. Well, there were two big tour announcements. Let's start with the second one first and work our way backwards.
The second leg of the Michael Buble tour. No, I'm just kidding.
So Roger Waters, who did Dark Side of the Moon a couple years ago in its entirety, has been long rumored to be touring The Wall and reconstructing The Wall and doing it in its entirety, and it is official, and tour dates have been announced. And I guess in the 30th anniversary year of The Wall, which we discussed a few months back. And if you missed that, you can check out the podcast and listen to that show, because that's a pretty fun show to listen to, where we go into a little bit of detail about The Wall, and we even play some non-traditional rehearsal footage of the band playing The Wall.
Some secret footage.
Yes.
We must never stop.
That's right. But so he's going to come back and he's going to do The Wall. And I have to tell you that I think that this may not even be the best show of the year. This could be the best show of the next 10 years, of the last 10 years, and maybe of the next 50 years.
You're pretty excited about this.
Dude, I am so pumped. This is like...
Your nuts are tingling right now.
That's right. Well, here's the topic I wanted to bring up, and we'll do this later on if you want, or whatever. Someone wants to chime in. But it made me think, if I had a concert bucket list, this is that show for me.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this show. This is the show. I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, not listening to Queen, but I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, ready to... I can't wait for this show. I want to go every night. I want to go on the whole tour.
Wow, look at you.
Dude, 35 dates in America.
Look at you.
I can't wait.
I'm there. I saw it the first time around.
He's building The Wall.
I saw Floyd do it in 79 or 80, whatever that was, at the LA Sports Arena, and it was a spectacle. It was something huge we had never seen the likes of before. And as great as that was, I have high hopes that this is going to be something even larger.
Yeah.
Because one of the comments that I read from Roger Waters about this upcoming tour is that he finally decided it was okay to do this. Not because enough time had to lapse, or not because he felt like now it was okay to revisit the catalog, but for the simple fact that now that technology is available for him to do the production in a whole new way, which to me says that each one of those bricks are no longer going to be made of styrofoam.
Right.
They'll probably be LCD screens, and thousands of them that they're stacking up, and the video possibilities are endless. This is going to be a visual explosion.
This is good. One of the reasons I'm so excited is not because of what The Wall means for me and how much I love that record and all of that, but it's the fact that maybe some of the greatest visual and audio, for that matter, shows that I've seen are Pink Floyd shows,
or Roger Waters solo shows that we've seen.
That's right. Well, that Dark Side of the Moon tour was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
or even the In the Flesh tour that we saw, where he was doing a Floyd retrospective. He was pulling out, what was he doing? Saucer Full of Secrets.
Yes.
Oh my God,
that show was fantastic.
Careful with that axe, Eugene.
But let's talk.
Are you kidding me?
But those Floyd shows at the Rose Bowl were visual masterpieces.
Dude, they opened up with Astronomy Domini.
Yes.
Oh my.
I remember the plane crash to start the show. Everything about it was so sick.
The flying bed, the flying pig.
Oh, so great. And the big disco ball that came up from the middle of the middle of
that was
the
no disco ball. That was like that was the Close Encounters spaceship landing in the middle of the Rose Bowl.
Incredible. And that's why I think this show will be like that in an arena.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved that Dark Side of the Moon tour, and I loved everything about it. Jesus Christ, did we have a moment during that show?
Sure.
I mean, you and I were feeling pretty good about ourselves during that.
I can't think of many albums that lend themselves more to big production at an arena or stadium level than The Wall. I mean, that's pretty much the pinnacle of it.
I really thought I don't know why. Looking back on it, it was silly, I guess. But I really thought that Fish might do that for Halloween.
That would have been fun. But this
is going to be stupid.
This is going to be stupid.
I can't wait for this tour. So you can go to rogerwaters.com for all the details. Like I said, I think it's like 35 shows or whatever. And that show ends here, oddly enough, which is so we get here, I think in Los Angeles, we get him at the Forum, and then we get him in Anaheim.
So we'll see him tear down the wall possibly for the last time.
All I know, dude, is I might have to sell Ethan to afford to go to that show twice. Do you know what I mean? But here, I was thinking about this too. That's not one of those shows I need to be close for. I think part of the beauty of it would be is you don't have to be.
In fact, I don't want to be in the first 10 rows for that.
No.
I want to be back a little bit. I want to soak it all in. It's not about watching the dexterity of fingers at a show like that.
No, absolutely not. I felt like that, I think, a little bit with where we were sitting for Dark Side. I thought we were a little close for Dark Side.
Yeah, we were like third row, and it was a little too close.
A little close.
To really soak up the pageantry of that giant prism up in the air.
Come on.
Oh, my God.
Come on. Really? Oh, and the pig. The flying fucking pig. So genius. Anyway, so that was pretty magical, and that was yesterday, I believe, that those tour dates got announced. So I've been, I've been nuts since. I can't wait for that show.
Yeah.
I really can't. I really think it might be the best show in the last 10 years that we've seen.
Yeah.
Although it could very possibly be rivaled by the tour announcement that happened on Thursday of last week.
The Time Machine Tour.
Right. And I'm sure nobody listening to this show knows what the hell we're talking about. So I guess we'll have to spell it out for you.
Our three favorite Canadians.
They're doing a little tour.
What's great about this upcoming Rush tour is for the first time ever, they're touring without a new album to support. I mean, even when they did like the R30th anniversary tour, they at least had that feedback EP, so we knew where they were going to be playing, some of the tracks off of that. And yes, they have 2 new songs that apparently they're going to be putting up on their website sometime soon.
They'll be available,
but there won't be a new record until sometime next year. So 2011 we get a new Rush album, but 2010, summer of 2010, we get the Rush Time Machine Tour, and they're going to travel back in time. And they're going to pull out a gem, which at first I thought, well, that's a little obvious, but I'm okay with it. They're going to play, for the first time ever, the Moving Pictures album. Maybe an obvious choice, but they're going to play it in its entirety for the first time ever, because even on the Moving Pictures tour, they played all of that album except Witch Hunt, which was very odd. But then they started playing Witch Hunt like a couple of tours after that, as part of the Fear trilogy.
Right.
But they've never played the whole album in one show, and they've certainly never played it cover to cover, which is what I understand they're going to be doing here. So the beauty of that for the diehards is, for the first time in 25, maybe 30 years, we're going to get the camera eye.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding pessimistic and, negative, which I have a tendency to do sometimes, especially when it comes to Rush, because I held them to such higher standards than everybody else.
Yeah. And they always meet those standards in every aspect except
the
set list.
Right.
They're just too predictable.
And so, again, at the risk of sounding like a pessimist, I ask you, by this big announcement of playing Moving Pictures in its entirety, and the Time Machine label of the tour. I mean, aren't they really just playing the Camera Eye and Vital Signs? Because they play everything else.
Actually, even Vital Signs made an appearance a couple of tours ago. So is this really an excuse to play the Camera Eye? That's really what it is, because the rest of that album...
So this is just an elaborate cover.
Absolutely, because the rest of that album is a standard part of the set.
Right.
You're always going to get your Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Limelight, Red Barchetta. You're always getting
You don't always get Red Barchetta.
Most of the time.
Fairness, but I'll say... when I was going through it, and of course I cranked on Moving Pictures right away.
Of course you did.
Right?
Of course you did.
Because every self-respecting Rush fan had to.
Right.
I'm looking forward to Red Barchetta. I really love that song, and I love it live.
Sure.
But again, is it really? This is just a big cloak and dagger thing.
Well, I'm a little bit more optimistic about this. The fact that they're not calling it like moving back to pictures or something like that. The fact that they're calling it Time Machine, I'm being optimistic that means they're actually going to dig deep into the back catalog. Now, I don't know how...
You don't think this was digging?
No, I
think
think they're going to go deeper than that.
You think we might even get Roll the Bones?
Whoa. Take it easy now.
I don't want to go nuts.
Take it easy now.
How about maybe even...
Dare we dream?
Is it possible that the big money could make an appearance?
Oh my!
Actually, I'd be pretty happy about that. I like that song.
I'm actually hoping that they'll dust off a few things. They've done it before. We talked about how on the first leg of the Snakes and Arrows tour, we were all shocked to see Entre Nous and Digital Man and Circumstances making appearances for the first time. In some cases, the first time ever. And
my gut feeling tells me, I hope I'm wrong, but my gut feeling tells me that this is the Time Machine. The Time Machine is Moving Pictures, and the rest of it is going to be a standard Rush set. You're going to get 2 or 3 Snakes and Arrows songs. I think you're going to get your standard Rush songs. I can't imagine that they're going to.
The reason I'm being optimistic, and maybe this one thing has nothing to do with the other, but when I heard about that and I heard the name of the tour, I immediately flashed back to one of the shows at the last Marillion convention was being called the Time Machine Show, and so what they did was they did like one song from every year, and they went back and back and back until they're playing things from the 82, 83 Garden Party, Market Square Heroes kind of stuff.
Dude, you're not. I mean, that's unfair comparisons.
Yeah, I guess
that's not Rush doesn't do that.
I guess
that's not their deal. It's funny, I think back now on all of the interviews that we've heard,
right,
leading up to the big tour announcement, and everything that I've read on rushasaband.com on Ed's site, which is absolutely brilliant.
Right.
And everything that I've read is like, we're really digging deep. We're going to go back into the vault. We're going to really pull out some oldies. So you're going to play Camera Eye.
Yeah.
Is that, now I look back on it, you put all the pieces together. Is that what you meant? You mean you're not pulling out Jacob's Ladder?
I was just going to say, I'm hoping for something like a Jacob's Ladder to surface.
Well, how does this thing work? It's an evening with Rush again, so it's 2 sets, right?
2 sets, probably about 3 hours with an intermission.
So they're going to open up with an hour and a half of music.
Right.
And then they're going to take a 15-minute intermission, come back and play Moving Pictures and 4 or 5 other songs.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably about the size of it. So it really all comes down to what's that 90 minutes in the first set.
Wow, we're going to get Tom Sawyer in the middle of the set. That's pretty cool.
Well, we've seen it as the opener.
We've seen it as an opener, but I just can't remember ever seeing it smack in the middle of the set.
No, that'll be weird.
Although I guess technically it is kind of an opener if it's the opener of the second set.
Yeah.
But still, that's
going to be interesting.
Good.
So they're going to dim the lights after the 15-minute intermission, and you probably get that video clip of the moving picture guys and the painting and that whole shtick,
which is great.
Yeah,
I'll be excited. I can't wait to see it. We're going to see it 3 times. So
yeah, absolutely, at least.
Yeah, but how great of a riff is that?
Nice.
That's fat. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't disappointed, but I thought about it, and I thought, so basically you're giving us the Camera Eye. That's the gem this tour.
Yeah,
and the 2 new songs.
I'm going to go on record. I'm going to say it's not just going to be about that gem, because I think they know that all their fans know. Obviously, the Camera Eye is coming. I think they gotta throw us something else. at least a couple of other things.
The 2 new songs.
Well, yeah, but no, I think the fact that they're going to call it a Time Machine tour, although it might not be as elaborate as what Marillion did, which was great, but I think they'll probably dig deep.
What do you think?
And at least pull out a couple of things that we haven't heard. I would say Fly By Night is a reasonable choice. They haven't played that in 35 years.
I'd be happy.
And
to
it was a big hit.
Sure.
They could potentially pull out something that they haven't done before off like one of the 90s albums. They could pull off
Tai Shan.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Turn the page.
But certainly,
how about Turn the Page?
Certainly, like a marathon or
I love that.
Manhattan Project, something like
great.
that could return to the set.
How about Turn the Page?
That could happen.
I doubt it.
It's possible.
Highly unlikely.
They're gonna squeeze it in right between Jacob's Ladder and Garden Road. They're gonna open with Garden Road.
Oh, way to shoot me down like
Dude,
that.
they open with Garden Road and then just go chronologically through the years and end with the 2 new songs.
You and I would look at each other and go, "What band is this?" This is like the Rush tribute band because they would never do this.
Never do that.
Who are these guys?
Maybe they'll play a Farewell to Kings. They haven't done that in forever.
But see, if I actually thought when they started talking about Digging Deep, I thought we were going to get Hemispheres.
Don't tease. But then
that was a reasonable thought.
But then that would be the album they would be showcasing.
But that was before I knew they were doing Moving Pictures. But I think, they're going to dig deep. I mean, maybe you do get a Hemispheres. They've teased us with that, it seems like. Listen, the best modern Rush tour that I remember is all of 2112.
Absolutely.
That was fucking retarded.
Test for Echo tour.
And to give them credit, they didn't even bill that as a Time Machine tour.
Right. And
yet, they only played side one, I guess.
Yet they pulled out a few things that year that they hadn't done in a long time. Natural Science reappeared for the first time in 20 years.
Right. You think we get Natural Science in this set?
I think they might switch it out with something else long. Maybe
because Camera Eye is what, 10 and a half.
Yeah, but they may switch it out with a Xanadu or something like that, or a By-Tour.
A By-Tour? Whoa.
I'm all about the By-Tour.
What? What? What'd you just say?
You think they're going to play this?
Well, this is one of the new songs. It's unreleased.
That's right. Because Kelly Hansen is now the new singer for Rush.
Na 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 na.
Hey, I'm on to you.
On to you. There's no way they're playing By-Tour. I just want to backtrack. You thought you'd get away with that and sneak it in. There's
not happening, huh?
No, they're not playing By-Tour. They're not playing. They could very easily play Xanadu. They could play La Vila.
Yeah.
You could get La Vila.
That would be La Vila Strangiato for you uninitiated.
I apologize. Yeah, you could get that. I guess I just don't think you're going to get anything that's going to blow you away.
All right, attention, diehard Rush fans. Let us know. What do you think they should play? What do you want to hear?
Well, what are they going to play?
Yeah.
I want to know what they're going to play.
Hit us at usebinradio at usebin.com or give us a call on our new toll-free number, 888-405-7440.
Yes, or I guess you could Facebook something. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Facebook, Usebin Radio.
I think you could Facebook or Facefuck. I don't remember. I don't know exactly what it's called.
Nice.
Is that what it is?
Nice.
Yes. And no. Do something on Facebook on our wall, I guess. But make it nice, please. And
now listen here, you little bastard. Just turn round and walk out of here the same way as you came in.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for the Rush tour. I gotta tell you.
No doubt.
And I think the other exciting thing that we haven't talked about with this, which isn't much, but is the fact that this is the beginning of a 2-year cycle for Rush, which is really
Love
exciting.
that.
Yeah.
Love
So
that.
we get 2 new songs, we get a tour, and then we get a record, and then we get another tour, and that I think is very, very exciting.
It's a good time to be a Rush fan.
Let me just tell you real quick, as far as the Rush tour dates go, a lot of pre-sales went on sale today. But go to rush.com, check it out. I know that Music Today is doing a lot of the pre-sales, so you can go there and get a password or whatever. Or if you have any questions of any sorts, you always can go to rushasaband.com because Ed's got everything extremely up to date. And when I mean extremely up to date, I mean he will tell you all the pre-sales when they're happening, and what's sold out in what city, and how many people will be attending, what the gender is going to be, what the age ratio is going to be of the general attendees, how many people ATM card is 2112 to get into their bank account,
and the T-shirt sizes of everyone in attendance.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. And he will also tell you that Geddy Lee's real name is Gary Weintraub. In case you're wondering.
In case they're thinking about including Time Stand Still in the set list.
How cool would that be? Would you be good with that?
Sure, but all they would have to do
I'd be good with that.
is tweet with their old pal Amy Mann, because apparently Amy has been very actively tweeting. Amy Mann from Tills Tuesday, who did a little stint with Rush on that track.
On the Hold Your Fire album. Great tour, by the way.
She apparently tweeted the other day. Did you read about this?
Mm-mm.
Amy Mann put a tweet, twat.
She tweeted.
She tweeted.
What did you just say?
A twat. Tweet. Twoot.
A twisket, a twasket.
Yeah, something like that. She somehow got into this diatribe on Twitter about Ice-T.
I did.
Did you hear about this?
I did. I'm sorry. I did.
Not the drink, but the rapper. And she said, "Christ, there is no reason in the world why anyone should ever cast Ice-T in a television show,
or an IT guy, because an IT guy wouldn't work either.
We should never cast him in a television show." Well, apparently this got back to Ice-T, who then proceeded to tweet and twoot and Twitter.
He twatted.
He said, "This may be drive-by time. Someone tell me who this bitch is." And he said, he tweeted that, "Hey, Amy, you should stop worrying about my acting and start worrying about your whack-ass music. In the meantime..."
So I guess he does know who she is.
"In the meantime, eat a hot bowl of dick."
What do you think he's trying to say?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know. But
okay.
So she recanted and tweeted, "This can't be good. I don't want to get on his bad side. He's just doing his thing." But
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That'd be great. Time Stand Still.
Sure, I'd be in. We talked a little bit about your pal Stevie Jones earlier. He had a.
I'm sorry. Before you read the story, will you turn
yeah.
this up a little bit?
Sure.
I'm sorry. This is pretty good.
He had a little story.
Do you know who this is? This is The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh. You know, the vocals sound cleaner on record than they did live.
I gotta tell you, they were good live.
Yeah, all energy all the time.
They were good.
They were action-packed.
Yeah, I thought that the screamer singer was great.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way he sings, but he was great to watch.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's good. Well, they were there. Yeah.
Well, you know, they got that energy because they're only 12 years old.
That's right. Well, they're heavy, man, because they've got the weight of Jesus on their shoulders.
Sure. But they love those South American chicks. Yeah.
God. I asked somebody when we were there, who did I say? We were talking to somebody and Mustaine walked by.
Yeah.
Remember? And everybody started screaming. And it occurred to me how strange it is to see a bunch of dudes screaming for another dude at a metal event.
Right.
Like it used to be chicks screaming for the guys and the guys screaming for the chicks. Now guys just scream for guys.
Yeah. I remember at one point.
That must be because they knew Buble was across the street.
I remember at one point Kat Von D was walking down the carpet, and you would have thought, you know, all right, there's a female on the carpet. People are going to go nuts. And sure enough, they did. Everybody started screaming, "Zach Wilde! Zach
weird.
Wilde!
Right.
Slash!"
So weird, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah.
But Steve Jonesy, he made a comment the other day in fond memory of his old manager. Malcolm McLaren passed away, Sex Pistols manager, and I thought this was kind of an interesting little quote. He said, "I knew him since I was 17. He was the Brian Epstein of punk," which is probably a very fair statement.
Absolutely.
He said, "We stayed friends through the years, despite some of our differences, and those differences were well documented during the Sex Pistols age." But he says, "My fondest
he has differences with everybody.
My fondest memory of Malcolm, though, and I loved the guy, but his birthday present to me when I turned 21 was a hooker and some heroin."
Goddamn right.
Happy birthday, Jonesy.
What's better than that?
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
This Day in Rock? 1975, This Day in Rock.
Yeah.
The movie version of Tommy came out in theaters.
Rex Beans. Fucking Rex Beans, baby.
1985, This Day in Rock. USA for Africa released We Are the World.
And we are stars.
Yeah, we're stars.
That's all I have to say. Kevin Dubrow doing that is great.
Sure.
Dead, by the way. Dead.
And in the year 2000, in This Day in Rock, Lars filed a suit against Napster.
Because
it's not fair. It's not fair that you steal our music.
Do you remember that? What was the cartoon? The cartoon with Lars and Napster and James.
Oh, I remember that. Was that?
We got to find that and play that. I'm going to find it right now while you talk.
Okay. Little prog news, since we were a little light on the news.
I like prog.
I like prog. We were a little light on the news tonight because we miss Rachel. Rachel, get well and join us next week. But a new potential prog supergroup in the makings, ladies and gentlemen. Do you remember early 90s when John Anderson was jobless? And,
I do.
And Yes was traveling on the road without him.
And he was about the indigenous people.
Sure. So he formed his own supergroup with former Yes alumni. Back then it was Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. Well, Steve Howe is currently in like Asia and Yes and a bunch of other projects. But since John Anderson is on the outs with his Yes pals, he's putting another one of these projects together. So it's going to be Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Rabin. So Trevor Rabin back in the fold.
Welcome back, Trevor.
Yeah, welcome back, Trevor. So they're going to work on something. No news on who the bass player is yet, but probably Tony Levin is my guess.
Good afternoon. My name is, Lars Ulrich from Metallica. I worked for years to get where I am today. Years and years of playing clubs and recording demo tapes. Me and my buddy, James Hetfield here, have shed blood, sweat, and motherfucking beer to get where we are today. Beer. Good. And now we're fucking wealthy beyond, belief. I mean, the other day was, obvious to me how much money we have because our bassist, motherfucking Jason Newsted bought his very first gold-plated Ferrari, and the fucking thing came with, a crew of naked Filipino sex slaves and this Mexican houseboy, all free, just because he's from Metallica, That's fucking rich, man. So where was I? Oh, yeah. All you post-pubescent boys who have bought, our albums and our T-shirts and our concert videos and T-shirts, good! Yeah, T-shirts. You loyal fans who, bang your heads at our concerts and pay, $200 for a ticket, $20 for, a CD, $50 for a Metallica T-shirt, and, $100 for a genuine Metallica cock ring. You're all fucking awesome, and we'll never forget you. You fucking made us rich. You fucking made us popular. You got us under the cover of, Kerrang! Magazine. I worship you. You the Metallica fan. Beer. Good. Unless you download it until it sleeps from Napster. Then you're going to motherfucking jail. You're
Alrighty then. I guess I found it.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think I remember that. That was Liquid Television, I think, on VH1.
Is that who did that?
I think so.
There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. That one was great.
They were also the show that aired the one of Axel behind the counter of McDougal's serving you fries. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, we'll have to pull that up later.
So far off.
Oh, he comes out and he's like, "Welcome to McDougal's."
That's great. What was McDougal's in? McDougal's Coming to America. Remember that movie, Coming to America?
Yeah, no, that was McDonald's.
No.
Yeah,
it was
with two L's instead of a D.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
that was great.
He had the golden arch,
right,
or something like that.
That's right. That was funny.
That's good stuff.
Welcome to McDougal's.
So, we got just a couple of minutes. We got to start wrapping things up. A couple of thank yous.
Sure. Hey, I could thank some people.
Sure. I want to thank all the people that have been our friends tonight on our new Facebook.
Yeah, we have new friends. Thank you guys.
So during the week, if you're listening tonight, or if you're catching this as a podcast on purerockradio.net, please join our cult of rebellion. Join our coven.
I got to tell you, man, this is such a big deal for me to do the Facebook thing.
That's pretty big.
I've been resisting for quite a while, but for the good of the show. And there'll be all sorts of cool shit that we're going to put up there. We just haven't done it yet.
I can learn to resist anything but temptation.
That's right. They won't play that, don't worry.
They won't play that.
That's way too far back in the time machine. Anyway, hey, Rich at Pure Rock Radio, you are a golden god.
Yes, you are, Rich.
Sean Gordon at progrock.com, you are a progressive god.
Yes, you are.
Terry Edwards and Max Krasny at Westwood One, you are Westwood One gods.
Indeed. And special thanks to them, by the way, for hooking us up with the mobile Westwood One recording studio to bring down to the Revolver Golden God Awards to capture some priceless moments with the icons of rock.
Yes, Chris Stone and Rob Wilson for usebinradio.com, which is almost there.
Almost there.
We have Facebook, we have Twitter.
He's got to take care of Rachel tonight and get her well, so he'll deal with that later.
Yep, and if you missed any part of the show, check us out on the podcast. You guys know where you can do that at purerockradio.net or at iTunes. You can just type in Usebin Radio and listen to any of the podcasts that are available for download. And stay tuned for right after this fabulous program. You will get Pure Rock Radio live from Las Vegas. And Corey Draper and Jamie Valley will rock your balls off because they're a bunch of funny dudes. And I think that might be all I have to say to you tonight, Joe.
Oh, I just wanted to mention this.
Hey everybody, what the hell's going on? This is Zach Wild from Black Label Society. We're all doing a hang. Joe and Brad, man. On Usebin Radio. Got it.
And there you have it. And we're going to leave you tonight with, I guess, a little transatlantic. How's this?
Nice.
A little mystery train. Hey, Mama.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, pal.
And to see ya was really, really nice. Usebin Radio. What are you listening to?
Is it possible for you to shut the fuck up for 10 seconds?
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
You're listening to the live internet broadcast on Pure Rock Radio. At PureRockRadio.com.